Well, listen, guys, come on in and actually get yourself, get your water, get your juice. Hey, listen, sis. Hey, sis, how you doing? Hey, Alicia. And I see Bertrand. See, I said it right. My bad for butchering your name. My bad. Welcome in, guys. We're trying something different. As y'all can see, we are trying something different. Super super duper excited about tonight's video. Let me go ahead and pull it up on the screen. As you guys can see, this is what we are actually discussing tonight. And let me give y'all a sneak peek really quickly of exactly what we are going to be discussing tonight. Y'all telling me that you're able to see this? Wait, can you tell me if you're able to see this? Because your girl needs some feedback, okay? Like, what in the world? This is absolutely amazing. I am beyond happy to see this. Beyond happy to see this. So, with
Going up, and I'm like, what does this mean? So I'm like, okay. So right after that, my husband calls, and I was trying to hold it in and trying to hold what I was feeling in. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm going to wait till he gets to the house. Because he was like, oh, I missed you. It's been a long week. This is the hardest money I ever earned. But I wish you could have gone with me. And I was like, okay, well, you know, you can tell me about your trip
it's
when you
just
get
that it's
home.
playing loud in my
So, okay,
ears, but
stand
it's
by, y'all,
just,
for the
I'm trying to
rest.
see how do I get the audio over here?
Hey, y'all.
Hold on.
It's story
Hold
time.
on. Because I guess she's not going as loud as I'm expecting. And I'm pretty loud, right?
So, okay, y'all. So when he comes home, I greet him at the door, you know, give him a hug and a kiss and ask him about his trip while he's unpacking.
You can
And
hear now? Okay.
so I'm like, show me some pictures from your trip. And he was like, oh, I didn't take any pictures. You know, I was running around working and we were just so busy and on the go. We were just, you know, just going to and fro. So I was like, oh, okay. So when we go to have dinner, I was like, hey, I called the airlines to see what time your flight was getting in. And I said, they told me there was someone else on your itinerary. And I tell him the person's name. And he was like, who was that? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me. He was like, oh, I don't know who that is. And he was like, mm-mm. He said, they must have made a mistake. So I was like, well, okay. Like, so I went along with it, but something about it, my spirit just was not feeling right. So I was like, something about this is just not right. So that night when we go to bed, he's sleeping over there just a snoring. I'm over there tossing and turning because I was like, something about this just does not feel right. So something tells me in the morning when you get up, go check your credit card bills that are on the counter. So the credit card bills are all stacked up out on our kitchen counter, and I don't open them because I don't pay the bill. I mean, it's American Express bill each month. They be high. So I was like, I ain't got none on it, so no need for me to open them. But that was my account, and I added him to it years ago. And I just let him open it, you know, open the bill and pay it. And there was sometimes I would open it, but most times I would just look at my portion of it and just keep it moving. So that morning when I get up, I go to church, and he tells me that he had to leave because he had to catch up on work and all that kind of stuff later on in the day. So I was like, okay. So I go to church, and when I come back from church, I get ready to go to the Falcon game. But something was like, check one of those credit card bills before you go. When I open up that bill, the woman that the airline employee mentioned that was on his itinerary, her name was up and down my credit card bill. Flights here, flights there, flights to Paris, Delta vacations, you know, a country here, an island there, something. And this was in 1 month. So I'm sitting there like, what in the world? So by this time, y'all, I'm steaming, and I got to go to this Falcon game with my girlfriends and try to act like I'm having a good time. But the whole time, my mind is racing. So I was like, okay. So I come home that night. I stack up all those bills. I got bills for like 8 months worth of bills. Actually, that was October. So 10 months. I pulled from December of 21 to October of 22. And when I tell you, it was very telling. This woman's name was on every one of my bills for each of those months, several times. So while I thought he was out working and telling me that I couldn't travel with him because, he didn't want to get distracted. Oh, he had a travel mate, all right. He had one. Stand by for part 3.
Let me just come on here really quickly. Let me turn this down. Y'all, did y'all hear that? She did not take any, she did not look at the statements for, she said, what, about 8 months? 8 months worth of statements she pulled up? Because she figured out more than likely he's the one who's using all of this, right? And he's the one who's paying all the bills. So she don't need to check up on anything and just comfortably just sit there and chill. So of course she don't know what's going on, because here goes this mistress name all over her credit card statement, and he's just bold with it. So do y'all see how dirty these people are? They are so bold with it. They're open with it, and just they don't have no remorse, no regards for anything about anybody. They don't care about nobody but themselves. And they'll do it right in front of your face, but if you're not paying attention, you won't even see it. And let's get into this next video, y'all.
So I go through all these credit card bills, finds this girl's name for months on my credit card bills, for the last 10 months specifically. So at that time, I try to call his phone, call my husband's phone and text him. No answer, no text back. So I call his boy's house because he told me he was going to his boy's house to watch football. No answer from him. So I texted him and was like, hey, is he with you? No answer back. Then all of a sudden, here come my phone ringing. It's my husband. Like, oh, I ran out to get something to eat. Like, what's up? And I was like, oh, you know what's up. I said, and I started repeating the girl's name. And he was like, why you keep saying that name? And I was like, I kept saying the name. So he was like, well, I don't understand why you keep calling that name. And I was like, oh, yeah. I said, your gig is up. I was like, you nasty motherfucker. I was like, your gig is up. So he was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm on my way home. I'm on my way home. I was like, bring your ass on home. I was like, come home. Because by this time, I'm furious. So I hang up the phone. I'm just like livid, y'all. I promise you. I think my blood pressure was on like 1,000 that day. So he comes in, and he come in like all Billy Bad, like, why you keep mentioning that name? And I was like, you tell me why I keep mentioning that name. So I was like, I'm going to ask you this. I said, I'm going to ask you one time. I said, no, I know the truth. I was like, was such and such on this flight with you? He was like, no, I don't know why you keep mentioning that name. I don't know who that is. I said, I'm going to ask you one more motherfucking time and know that I know the truth. Don't lie to me. And it was like this mask fell off of him. And he sat down in his chair and he was like, yeah, she was with me. And I was like, okay. I said, so that's your girlfriend? He was like, yeah. I said, well, how long you been with her? He said, a couple of years. And I was like, okay. So by this time, I can't hold it together. I mean, all I remember doing, I remember crying, and I had a really, really bad headache. And all he said to me was, and this was what he says was really kind of like cut me. He was like he was relieved. He was like, at least I ain't got to lie no more. I'm sorry I hurt you, but at least I don't have to lie anymore. So by this time, I'm like, say what now? So I'm screaming, I'm yelling. My son's upstairs. He comes down, goes back up, because I was like, everything's fine, everything's fine. But my head is like hurting like really, really bad, guys. So I come back to my bathroom to try to get some medicine. So I was like, let me take my blood pressure. Blood pressure was like 190 over 110 or some crazy shit like that. So I was like, I got to get to a hospital. I got to get to a hospital. So stand by. It gets more interesting. So I go through all these credit card bills, finds this.
Fam, I just wanted to pop in really. Did you hear what she just said? She said that man had a sigh of relief. Like he was relieved at the fact that he don't have to lie anymore. You're out here having a full-blown relationship with another woman for several years, and there's no remorse that you feel any type of way about what you're doing. When we are out here trying to figure out How could we make things right? And we're trying to do everything. You're thinking about everything humanly possible that you could do to make a relationship work. And they're out here building relationship, having full-blown relationship behind your back. And don't care nothing about your well-being and how this might affect you. And his response was, yeah, that's my girlfriend. At least I don't gotta lie to you no more. Like, say what? What in the world could you? How could you be so heartless and cold that you don't have to lie anymore? So now, at least you know now. So deal with it. I'm telling you, like these people, it's so bizarre how to wrap your head around how they treat people, and then expect for us to just accept it. But y'all, let me just stop the talking. I'm rambling on too much. Let's just jump right into the next video, y'all. It
So by this time, my head is banging, and I know I need to go to the hospital. I know something is wrong. So of course, I'm crying. I'm hysterical, trying to put my clothes on. He's trying to touch me and pet me up like, oh, I'm just so sorry that I made you feel this way. Now, didn't really have any compassion in his voice, any of that kind of stuff. So I was like, don't touch me. So I drive myself to the airport. He was like, I'll drive you. I was like, I said, I'll take my chances. I drive myself to the airport. I get there. Blood pressure is off the charts to the point they're like, ma'am, you're about to have a stroke. You got to calm down. And I really couldn't even talk. So they were like, you got to calm down. So they call my doctor. We get the medicine. They try to get it under control. So I'm there for a couple of hours. So I come home and he's sitting on the couch eating Cheetos like ain't shit happened, right? Then comes in like, oh, what they say? And I was like, they said they got my pressure, kind of down because it went all the way down. They said, go see a doctor in the morning. So that night I could not sleep. I cried all night long to the point when I got up that morning, I really couldn't even see. My eyes were so swollen. So I'm tore up, right? So I go out later that morning. He's upstairs. I come upstairs because I slept in another bedroom. He's around here like, like do, like, he having a good day and shit. Like, his burdens is light. Mine heavy, but his is light. So I come up and then he's out in our family room and I was like, look, I said, I don't know. And I'm still in a state of confusion. So I was like, I don't know what happened last night. And I was like, I don't know what I've done wrong. Because by this time I'm blaming myself. I was like, I know I'm getting older, but I try to keep myself up. I try to look nice, do whatever I can as a wife. I was like, I've tried my best. So I don't even know what I could have done or what I can do. So I'm taking the blame. And he was like, oh, it's not you. Like, it's not you. So, but I'm like, no, like, it's got to be me. He was like, no, he's like, you're a good wife. You've been a really good wife. So I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I was like, I'm confused here. I say, so what we need to do, I was like, I think we need to sell the house. Let's move away, try to start over. You go to counseling. I go to counseling. We do some counseling and we start over. So he was kind of like real smug with it. Like, well, if that's what you want, like, yeah, we can do that. So I was like, well, what about her? Are you going to stop seeing her? So he paused for like 20 seconds and kind of tilted his head to the side. He was like, I ain't gonna tell you I'm gonna stop seeing her. And I was like, then you want a divorce? He was like, oh, I don't want a divorce. He was like, I ain't gonna let nobody fuck up my money. And I was blown away. So
say
by
what
this
now?
time, my head is
He
banging. I
said,
know I need to go to the hospital. I
hold
know
on,
something is
hold on. Let me
wrong.
close this
So of
out. That was
course,
what he said, that he not gonna stop being the side chick. What in the world? He not gonna stop seeing the woman on the side. How many times have we heard this? Like we've all been there where you're with the narcissist and they not trying to stop seeing who they with and you willing to settle and to accept any old little thing because you just want to be with your partner. You just want your relationship. And all you're asking them to do, like, can you stop seeing that other person so we can work on our relationship? Look at my sis in the house. Like, listen, let me stop and give y'all all my families out a shout out. Wolo is in the house. Alicia is here. I see Carletta is here. And let me go back up because I know I seen Mags in here earlier. And Stardima, I see you in here, my sis. Listen, thank y'all so much for coming through, joining this conversation, because we've all been in a situation where We just wanted the relationship so bad. I remember a lot of my own situations where I found out that he had a child outside of the relationship, outside of the marriage, should say, because it wasn't a relationship, it was a marriage. Outside of the marriage, he have a whole son, and his son is 1 year old. So he kept the pregnancy and the son being a year. Listen, y'all sleeping, we sleeping with the enemy, or we was sleeping with the enemy. We got to find a way to stop sleeping with this enemy because what? He said he not gonna leave the side chick. That is, oh, let me stop and continue, y'all. One more. Let's jump into the next one. Have this one ready.
Y'all, when he hit me with the, I don't want a divorce, but I'm gonna keep seeing her because I ain't gonna let nobody fuck up my money. Let me tell you something. That was definitely the wrong answer and told me everything I needed to know about him, about the marriage, and what I needed to do next. So for the next couple of days, I'm still in a state of confusion. And I remember going to, once I found the girl's name, I went to Instagram, good old Instagram. You go look there, you find anything. So I look up her name, I see her, and I'm really like feeling down. I'm like, oh my God, like she's beautiful. He wants him someone younger. Like I ain't all that. Dot, dot, dot. So I'm just tearing my ass up. So, my girls called later that day. My best friend called that morning and was checking in on me, and I was trying to hide it from her, but I couldn't. So I'm like in a ball of tears, tell her what's happened. She's in a state of shock. And usually she always got something to say, but she was left speechless. So she calls my other girlfriend. She calls. We all in a state of shock. Everybody's tore to pieces. So that day, after, I tell them what happened and everything, everybody, we just call it, we all were shocked. So the next day I go and meet with them because I see this girl on Instagram and I'm telling them about it. So they asked me to come out to lunch, have lunch with them, my two girlfriends. So, because they needed to tell me something. So, and I bring it up. I was like, well, I see her pictures on Instagram. And I was like, she's pretty. And they were like, girl, she ain't all that damn pretty. Like, that's filters and plastic surgery and a whole bunch of other shit. Like, girl, it ain't even all that. And they were like, and kind of, it's like, we ain't trying to offend you. Y'all actually kind of favor each other. Like, she may be the younger version of you. So I'm thinking, like, I don't look like her. Like, that girl's, pretty. Like, I don't look like that. So in the interim, I was like, well, at least I said they don't have any pictures of themselves up on her Instagram. So my girlfriends was like, that's why we needed to meet with you. Because they were like, there is a picture out there. So by this time, y'all, I'm devastated. So our food tries to come. We have Papa Do's. Food comes. I'm so distraught from tears and looking a hot mess. Couldn't really even eat. And we went into how bad off I was. You bad off when you can't do this. We needed to pray over our food. I couldn't even put my hands together to pray. I have never had that to happen. I couldn't even pray. I literally put my head down on the table while they were saying a prayer and cried. And basically they made me try to eat because I really could not eat anything. So it was just a complete mess. So when I get home, my husband, he was actually gone. I think he was gone, but he claimed he had a trip or something. And then he tells me when he did come home, like, well, I need to talk to you because I think we need a little break. So he was like, you need a break so you can think about some things. And I was like, huh? Like, I need to think about some things. He was like, yeah, you need a break so you can think about some things.
The nerve of this man. So, all right. Okay. For those who don't understand what just really took place, right? He that's the ultimate devalue. Okay? That's the ultimate devalue and degrading. So that's exactly what just took place here. His goal was to, because a lot of times, right, when the narcissist devalues you, the whole point of that is to make you second guess yourself. The whole part of the devaluation stage, the whole part of them doing stuff like this to you is to make you second guess yourself. It's to have you put yourself in a state of insecurity. So now you start to feel insecure. Now you start to wonder and second guess who you are as a person because your self-worth That's what they're damaging, is your self-worth and your self-value. They're making you feel worse than how you felt before. They're making you feel like you're not worthy, that you're beneath them, that you're just a low person with no self-esteem. That's exactly what they're doing in these particular moments when they're saying stuff like this to you. So now you're here questioning your worth, you're questioning yourself, you're questioning your value. But that's the ultimate dagger. That's exactly what he's doing at that moment, to tell her that they need a break. So he didn't just crush her, he's also adding injury to the crush, and is letting her know that, hey, now we need a break. You need to work on yourself. So he's now shifting the blame from himself and putting all the responsibility on her, that she needs time to go take care of herself, because she needs to figure this out. Because one, he already told her that he's not leaving his mistress. He already let her know. So basically, and he's telling her he doesn't want a divorce. So now he's putting the responsibility on her to say, listen, choose which one you want. But I'm not going to give up what I have going on here for you. I already have this going on with her. So you could figure out if you want to deal with this or not. That's just what it is. So when you're dealing with one of these type of people, I'm telling you, like, when they push your self-esteem so low, it's like you feel so unworthy, and you're just willing to accept the crumbs, even if it's just the little crumbs, little acknowledgement from them, little validation, just to feel worthy. Like, there's no way you could just did something like that, and then you're pulling the rug from underneath my foot at the same time too. Like, there's no way possible that this is exactly what you're doing to me during this time. You just told me
So
that.
yeah, to add injury.
Hold
Now,
on, let me pause this one. You just told me that you're not leaving your side chick, and I'm here broken, and instead of you comforting me and consoling me, you're actually going away, leaving me, and to actually be with her. I mean, I get it that he's already been doing this for a long time, for years. He said he'd been doing it, he's been going on trips, so it's no different from him doing it right now. And yes, I get it. But have some compassion. But guess what? You're dealing with a narcissist. They do not have any compassion. So you cannot expect to get something from them that they don't have to give. And right here, we're seeing it firsthand, how heartless and cold he's expressing himself to be. After all that devastating news and information, he's now telling her that, nah, you got to do this on your own. This ain't about us. You got to do this on your own. I need to go be with this other woman over here. This other woman here needs my time and attention, and I cannot afford to give you that time and attention. So you got to go figure this out by yourself. They do walk out and leave us when you're at your lowest. When you're at your lowest, they walk out and leave you at your lowest. When you're going through something and you're heartbroken and you're in pain, they leave you at your lowest because they want you to feel so needy and dependent on them. And it feels like a part of you has been ripped out and your soul has just been taken from your body. So you're there feeling soulless at that particular time. And this is the time that they shine. This is the time that they feel validated. They feel like the big hero. All the attention is on them. All the admiration is on them because they're watching you suffer. And it gives them so much gratification, so much pleasure, and so much joy just to sit there and watch you suffer and go through stuff. It gives them so much pleasure. So you might be sitting there wanting to get that attention from them and to get love and affection, but that's the worst time. You're not going to get it from them at that time because they have to shine. They have to shine at that particular moment. So giving you love and attention, that's near there impossible. They want to see you beg and just and this goes to show that it don't matter what you do. It don't matter how much you do. It don't matter how much you pour out and give. A man is going to do exactly what he wants to do. It doesn't matter the state that you're in. They're going to do exactly what they want to do. And unfortunately, we kind of have to brace ourselves for that. Let's jump into the next scene, y'all.
so yeah, to add insult to injury, he tells me he needs to go away for 3 to 6 months for me to think about some things and to think some things over. And I was like, I need to think some things over. I was like, I don't need to think about anything. He was like, yeah, I need to go away so you can think about some things. So I'm like, okay. And this was a straw that broke the camel's back when he said this. And I knew that this man actually had no love for me and that he had been planning and plotting for a long time. He was like, yeah, and if you find somebody in that 3 to 6 month time frame, I'll understand. Now, who tell their spouse that? If they really love you, they don't want you all sleeping with nobody else. Not if everybody normal, ain't nobody sick or doing anything like that. So I knew then, I was like, I don't have but one other option. Divorce is the only option for me. And I tell you, I prayed about it, asked God about it. And when I tell you, he was sending me signs. If you listen, he will send you signs. And he sent me sign after sign after sign, y'all. So I did. I filed for divorce. And each day I've gotten stronger. And I think my husband thought that, I don't know what he thought about me or what kind of person I was, but because he knew how I felt about infidelity. And I always used to tell him, hey, if something ever happens, tell me on the front end. Because I'm going to hurt one way or the other, on the front end, on the back end. Just let me know. But don't play me for no fool. So he thought he got Boo Boo the fool over here. So I was like, okay. And from Miss Girl that you saw in the video, yeah, she knew about me. He would have her at restaurants, hotels, games, had other women serving me my drinks. They'd feet under my table speaking to me. And he's sleeping with all these women. That is humiliating, y'all. So, you know what? I was like, if you give me shit to taste, I'm going to let you taste it back. So, to the airport video. Yeah, I was shocked. I was dismayed because that was my first time seeing them. I knew it eventually that I would see them out somewhere. It's Atlanta, and hey, it's a small town. So, it's a big town, but it's a small town too. So, I was like, okay, I'm going to try my best to be classy and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes that just don't work. Because when you go in a gutter, when people go gutter with you, and I have to apologize to Michelle Obama. Girl, when you said that, when they go low, we go high, that ain't my motto. Because when they go low, I go lower. I go gutter. I'm going gutter. I'm going to swim down with the rats with your ass. So I was like, okay, yeah. So she knew, and she was on Instagram sending all her little subliminal messages and all of that. Like, yeah, okay, I got you, girl. But y'all, when all this is over, I got a little story to tell about her and the rest of his story too. Our story. It's actually our story because it's my story to tell. So I'll share more with you all, but let me tell you something as a cautionary tale. If you all want to move on, just say you want to move on, y'all. Because if you fuck around, you definitely going to find out. And just like him, my husband got the one and the two. Be good. Y'all hear from me later. Bye. So yeah.
Okay. Like, I, 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 I don't know what to say, y'all. Like, I, say what now? I don't even know what to say. Like, are you kidding me? So you've been ignoring all these red flags for all these years, and you're trying to I'm not even gonna knock you. I'm gonna knock you because it's not that's not what we're doing right now, right? We're gonna get to that, but that's not even what we're doing right now. But I'm just saying though that you did not see all these red flags and you ignore all of these things that you have gone 8 months without checking your statement because yes, he's gonna be the one to pay it. So that's what you're saying. Okay. Okay, so you did not pay attention to none of these red flags. So you didn't see the warning signs, the little drop, because they are not that good at what they do. But it gets better because she knows exactly what's going on. And I think she has more than enough information before why she's operating like this. Because, you're very comfortable. You're very comfortable. It goes to let us know that beauty ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Beauty has nothing to do with listen, you hear that? She had to know. I just saw this comment. She had to know. She There's no way
Hey
that
y'all.
she didn't know what was
Hey
going on.
y'all. After I
So
posted that
listen.
video of my husband and his mistress in the Atlanta airport, and I decided to share.
So let me jump into this next part of it because she wanna now come with explanation and give us more reason. He looks speechless sitting in that. I think we need to run that clip back really quickly. Hold on, let me just run that clip back really quickly. I think, listen, But you could tell that she was so hurt because actually
Good morning, Harold.
in the airport.
How are
Look,
you?
she was
Good to see
really
you.
hurt,
Hope you have a
y'all.
good flight. I'll see you on the flight. Oh my God. Good morning, Harold. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you have a good flight. I'll see you on the flight.
She said,
Good morning,
I
Harold.
hope you have a good
How
flight.
are
Hey,
you?
Harold.
Good to see you. Hope you have a
Good
good flight.
morning.
I'll
Good
see
to
you on the
see
flight.
you. Hope you have a good flight. So I guess I'll see you on the flight.
Good morning,
You
Harold.
listen.
How are
So
you?
you know
Good to
that's
see you.
when you're
Hope you
at
have
your
a good
low.
flight. I'll
Like
see you on the flight.
you're super low
Good
at
morning,
that
Harold.
point. Like your
How are
self-esteem is
you?
so
Good to see
low.
you. Hope you
And
have a
at
good
that
flight. I'll
time,
see you
you're
on the flight.
begging just for little attention. You don't even know what to do. You're in a
Good
state of
morning, Harold.
shock at that
How are
particular
you?
moment. Like you
Good to
don't
see
even
you.
know
Hope
what
you
to
have a
do.
good flight. I'll see
You're
you on the flight.
panicking, your emotions are running high, you're trying to figure stuff out, and you're not even like, look at this. How like you just witnessed your significant other with his mistress and they're on a flight. Like, what in the world? Let us see. Like, that's so cute, right? Listen, look at this. That's him and his mistress, and she caught them on. Like, listen, she right there. And you could tell the state of shock that she's in. Like, she can't even believe what is going on. Not me over here trying to see what she typing on the phone. Like, what you doing over there? And she's also like a well-off person as well too. Like, but y'all, we gonna talk about how they met and some of this other thing too. Because look at them over there. He is on a flight with his lady with the window seat. Look at him sitting there by the window, getting that view. And the mistress is out here in the hallway, just chilling out. Look at her. Go ahead, girl. And go ahead.
Oh my God. Good
Listen,
morning, Harold.
everything gonna
How are
happen how
you?
it's supposed to
Good to see
happen.
you.
I
Hope
ain't
you have a
make
good
none of it
flight. I'll see
up,
you on the flight.
and we getting into it. Like, look at
Good
you.
morning, Harold. How are
Now,
you?
what would you
Good to
do?
see you. Hope you
Eh,
have a good flight. I'll
eh,
see you on the flight.
mm, you know what? Let's just right into this part,
Hey
y'all.
y'all, after I posted that video of my husband and his mistress in the Atlanta airport, and I decided to share my story with you all, when I say that you all have shown an outpouring of love, support, kind words, prayers, just everything. And I just want to say how grateful I am because that was very hard for me. And it's still hard for me. This is a journey that I wouldn't wish on anyone. This kind of betrayal and the lies and the deception, no one deserves that, you know. And just reading some of you all's stories, it makes me sad to know that so many people are still going through this same thing, you know. And it's not even about, you know, everybody's going through it. Black, white, you know, it has no color line, and men are going through it too with women who are doing the same thing. But you know, I'm hoping that this will help someone know that they can share their story and not live in shame, thinking they can't say anything and protect the other person. Those days are gone, y'all. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and loving on me during this time. So this is a love that I didn't even know I needed, but I needed it, guys. So, and for the ride out crew, y'all crack me up, getting ready to get y'all Air Force Ones or y'all stomping boots. But y'all, I'm too old for that. And I'll tell y'all this, I'm just being completely transparent. When I ran up on them in the airport, I never knew what I would do if I ever saw them together. And I didn't do anything because I'm older now and I can't fight. I really cannot fight, and I didn't want her to whip my ass. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So y'all, we're not going to fight. We're going to fight with our tongues and fight with the legal system. And since I'm still going through this process, according to my, you know, trusted counsel, Rachel St. Fleur and Melanie Fenwick Thompson, I got to start thinking smarter, guys. So I couldn't, you know, go off and do that. So I want to advise you guys too. Like sometimes we have to restrain. We do have to use self-restraint, guys. So I do appreciate you all, you know. And to my super sleuth, when I tell you, y'all are better than the FBI, the CIA, Scooby-Doo, Perry Mason. Y'all are on it. But yeah, we can lean back on some of that now. You know, we'll get it handled, guys. But thank you for your support. You know, and for you all who said I stayed, I did not. I know my worth. And as soon as I got more information after I initially found out on October 29th of 2022, there was so much more that came out between that time and when I filed. but I can't share that with you all right now because it is actually, this story gets crazier and crazier. But can't share that with you all right now, but I will at some point, and I just hope that it helps someone else know that you're not going crazy. You're not alone with the gaslighting and people making you feel like, you're a less than. You're not. So, and for me, for those who want to stay, that is your prerogative. I'll support you, but I'm not one of those you, me, and she kind of girls. There's not going to be no Eve and the Rough Riders on that one. No, it's either you or me. I value the institution of marriage. I made a commitment to God. I made a commitment to him, and he just didn't stand up on his end. So, it is what it is, guys. But I thank you all so much, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Hope y'all have a
Good morning, Harold.
I'm gonna
How
just
are
leave
you?
that in the
Good to
background
see
since
you.
there's
Hope
no
you have a
real
good
audio
flight. I
to
see you
this,
on the
right?
flight.
So
Good
you know
morning,
why
Harold.
I could relate to what
How are
she's
you?
saying too,
Good
for
to
the
see you.
simple
Hope you
fact
have a
that
good flight. I see you on the
when
flight.
you're dealing with somebody like this,
Good
she
morning,
thinks
Harold.
she's normal.
How
She
are
thinks
you?
she's
Good to
okay.
see you. Hope you
And
have a
we've
good
all
flight. I see
been
you on
there
the
that
flight.
has been in a relationship with a narcissistic
Good
person. We've
morning,
all
Harold.
been there
How are
to the
you?
point where
Good
you
to see you.
feel
Hope you have a good
normal.
flight. I see you on the
You
flight.
feel normal. You're talking like a normal person and you're
Good morning,
having
Harold.
normal conversation with
How are you?
people
Good
and
to
you
see
and
you.
you're
Hope you
doing
have
a
a good
lot of
flight. I see you
things
on the
thinking
flight.
that you're fine and you're normal and you're
Good
saying,
morning,
well,
Harold.
I hope the world
How
get
are
this and
you?
and
Good to
and
see
I,
you.
and I
Hope you have a good
understand
flight. I
there's a
see you
lot
on
of
the flight.
pride there. But as
Good morning,
embarrassing
Harold.
as this
How
is,
are you?
it's
Good
an
to see you. Hope you
opportunity
have a
for
good
us to
flight. I
see
see you
that
on the
we're
flight.
not the only one who went through something like this,
Good
or we're
morning,
not the
Harold.
only one who really
How are you?
experienced something
Good
like
to
this,
see you. Hope you have a
because
good flight. I see you on the flight.
we once did not have our
Good morning,
boundaries in
Harold.
order,
How are you?
because there was
Good
some
to see you. Hope
boundaries,
you
there
have a
were
good
some
flight. I
things
see you
that
on the
took
flight.
place there that caused us to really
Good
accept
morning,
these kind
Harold.
of behaviors and
How
deal
are
with these
you?
type of
Good to see you.
relationship,
Hope you have a good flight. I
because
see you on the flight.
somewhere along the lines
Good
we
morning,
missed the
Harold.
red flags.
How are you?
Somewhere along the
Good to see
lines
you.
we
Hope you
start
have a
to
good flight. I
acceptance,
see you
because
on the
when you
flight.
start to find out stuff, you start to see little
Good
bits and
morning, Harold.
pieces here and there,
How are
and
you?
after you see
Good to
these
see
bits
you.
and
Hope you have a
pieces,
good
it's
flight.
like
I see you on the flight.
you don't even know what to do. You confront
Good
them,
morning, Harold.
but they know
How are
that you
you?
know,
Good to see you. Hope
and
you have a
they
good flight. I
know
see you
that
on the
you're
flight.
on to them, and they know that you know what
Good
they're
morning,
doing,
Harold.
but a lot of
How are
times they
you?
just don't
Good to
know
see you. Hope you
how
have a good
much you
flight. I see you
know.
on the flight.
And that's the thing that
Good
really
morning, Harold.
trips up a
How are you?
narcissist, because
Good to see you. Hope
to
you have a good
them,
flight. I see you on the flight.
she gotta know.
Good
There's no
morning,
way she
Harold.
don't know, because
How are you?
I'm not
Good
that
to
good
see
at
you. Hope
cheating.
you have a good
She
flight. I see you
gotta
on the flight.
know what I'm doing, or he
Good
gotta
morning,
know
Harold.
what I'm doing, because
How are
it's
you?
both men and
Good to
women,
see you.
right?
Hope you have a good
She
flight. I see
gotta
you on
know
the
what
flight.
I'm doing. And it's like when you see
Good
them
morning,
going through
Harold.
stuff like this, you're
How are
wondering,
you?
like,
Good to see you.
nah,
Hope you have a
the
good flight. I
narcissist
see
could
you on the
never be
flight.
so bold to do it. And the reality is,
Good morning,
they
Harold.
are
How are
bold.
you?
Look how
Good to
bold
see
he's
you. Hope
sitting
you
there
have a
with
good
his
flight. I
woman,
see you
like
on the flight.
looking at her like she's the help.
Good morning,
Looking at her
Harold.
like she walked over,
How
like,
are
who
you?
are you?
Good to
Trying
see
to
you. Hope you
interview
have a
me
good
sitting
flight. I see
here.
you on the flight.
You don't see me with my lady sitting here, and she's so
Good morning, Harold.
comfortable just
How are
chilling
you?
there.
Good to see you. Hope you have a good flight. I see you on the
But
flight.
I'm gonna go into it because I found another video, y'all,
Good morning, Harold.
that let us
How
know
are you?
exactly how
Good to
she
see
met
you. Hope you
him.
have a good flight. I
So
see you
we're
on the
gonna
flight.
see how the wife, which is
Good morning,
Gail
Harold.
Lewis, that's the
How are
wife,
you?
Gail Lewis.
Good to see
We're
you.
gonna
Hope you have a
see
good
how
flight. I see
she
you on the
actually
flight.
met the husband, because she gonna talk about it. So I want to
Good
hear
morning,
about
Harold.
this one too. So I'm gonna
How
jump
are
right
you?
into this
Good to
video
see you. Hope you have a
and
good
see
flight. I see you
exactly
on.
how she, because yeah, that's the airport video right there. But this,
Hey
she said this
y'all,
one is
I'm gonna
about
address
him.
this part about the start of my relationship with my husband, and I'm gonna be done. And you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do. I mean, it is what it is, and that was almost 30 years ago. But when I was introduced to him, I was told he was not married. Only to find out later that he was. So I told him then that I did not deal with married men, and that I didn't want to do anything to some other woman that I didn't want done to me. And I meant that, and I still hold to that. So of course he gave me the standard, we've been having problems and all that kind of stuff. And whenever I would talk to him, I would tell him he would try to be hitting on me, but I would knock it right down because I wasn't attracted to him. My husband was overweight, morbidly obese, actually. But he was a nice guy. But when I would talk to him, I would encourage him to stay with his wife and kids. And I thought he thought that was the oddest thing, but that's what I would.
Do you see how we like to insult when we accepted the person. Like and I gotta call it for what it is. It's like when the fox can't get the grape, they say that it's sour. I have to call it like I see it. You're saying he's fat and he's obese, and you're speaking about him in a negative way, and that's just a natural reaction of somebody that's hurt. Because it was the same fat obese man that you stayed with for, you said, almost 30 years, right? So he wasn't so fat and obese for you to stay with him. So you stay with somebody that was not normally your type, but something kept you there. What was it? Because you might have not have high self-esteem then while you got with him, because you're speaking about him in such a negative way that he's beneath you. He's not your normal type. He's not the type that you would go for. So that really tells a lot about the individual that is accepting that person, because if you're saying that he's fat, he's obese, and that's like like, so you're already saying that his physical appearance was not your cup of tea, but you're accepting it though. His physical appearance is not something that you would typically go for. And that's the thing. When we think that we're low, one thing that, oh, he do right by me. You know, you lower your standards to accept what you wouldn't normally accept. It's a recipe for disaster, because if they know that they're not a catch or they're not your type, and you rejected them first and then you accept them later on, that's the ultimate red flag with a narcissist. They'll pursue you for a period of time. They'll chase you, they'll pursue you. And then at the breaking point, when you cave in, ah, gotcha. That's it. They know when to flip the script, they know when to turn things, and they know, yes, gotcha. And that's the reason that you see now you're chasing them, you're running after them, you're begging for their attention, you're begging for some satisfaction from them, because this is what they're offering, and this is what they're offering up, the crumbs. But the issue goes deeper within. So I'm gonna let her finish what she's saying though, but it's just how she's playing him and degrading him. I just wanted to kind of spot, to kind of call that out really quickly, because we always tend to talk about, oh, the narcissist, this and that, because they are, but we accepted it though. And that's just why it's kind of twisty and it's kind of biased when we do that. But I understand it's coming from a place of hurt. But whenever we see stuff like this, it really kind of point the finger back at ourselves to be like, why did I accept that? Like, what about me? Why am I accepting this? So it gets better, y'all. Let me be quiet so she could do what she does.
What I would do, I would encourage him, because I didn't like him like that. And I was like, you married, so this ain't going anywhere anyway. So he kept asking me, like, like, what if I was divorced? Because she and I having problems and all of that. And I was like, well, if that's the case, you need to get your problem handled. I said, I can't even think about ever even dating you or doing any of that because you're still married. So lo and behold, he tells me that he's going to divorce her. He started his process, and that, he wanted me to be his girl and all that kind of stuff. Actually gave me some diamond earrings to let me know. He was like, this is to let you know that I'm super duper serious about this thing. So I was like, well, okay then, because during this whole time, we had no intimate relationship, any of that, for like 3 months. Because actually, I was calling him Al Bundy, and he didn't even know why I was calling him that. Because he was like, why you always call me Al Bundy? And I was like, because you married with children, and I don't mess with Al Bundys or whatever, right? So once he started his divorce proceedings, he asked me would I date him. So I did. So there may be some fault there where I started dating him before his actual divorce was final. But I made sure that he had filed divorce, because that's what he told me. So we did take a trip to the Essence Music Festival the first year, and a phone call came in, and I'm assuming that it was his wife, but the way he responded to the call let me know that, basically something was up and that he probably had lied to me. So when we get off the phone, I was like, I thought you filed for divorce. Like, why was that conversation going that way? He didn't really have too much to say. But he was like, well, no, I talked about it, but I was going to file. I'm still doing some reach out. I'm filing when I get back and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, I was furious, because I was like, you've lied to me. Like, why would you, tell a lie like that? The only reason I came with you on this trip was because you told me you had filed and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking everything kosher with them, and that I didn't have anything to do with that. Because he told me in the beginning, like, no, she and I having issues. And if I file for divorce, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. So I was like, well, okay then. So, like I said, I wasn't attracted to him at first. But he was a really nice guy, really nice guy. He was a professional guy, was president of a company and all that kind of stuff. But I had my own thing. I was working. I was a single mom doing my own little thing. So I didn't really need him for anything. But the only thing that I'll say about that was, yeah, I did start dating him after he filed for divorce. And I think from the time I met him to the time he divorced was like a 10-month span. So those first 3 months, I didn't say anything to him, like romantically, because I was not attracted to him. And that is for real. If you see the picture of him before, you'll know why, but he was a nice guy. So I'm just saying. But I'll say that, maybe me dating him before the divorce was final, was wrong. And I'll take accountability for that, but I can't go back, 30 years now and correct that. I'm just trying to move forward and do what's right. But, Miss Thing is trying to like paint this narrative like, oh, she was doing the same thing. Not the same thing at all, because my whole time I was encouraging him to stay with his people. She did not. I have the text messages between them from the day they met to, all the things that he was telling her, the things she was telling him, and telling him that she didn't have anything and that she left her family with just the clothes on her back, and, just this little sob story for him. So I guess he went with it. But like I said, y'all, this was originally about me posting a video of me seeing them for the first time in the airport. So I ain't judging her. I ain't gonna judge him. Like I said, I'm not, but it ain't like I willfully went out and decided like I'm gonna go and destroy his family. It was nothing like that. So a lot of us were deceived. A whole bunch of us were deceived. So that is what he has done. That's what he continues to do. So
I had to stop for a second. She doing too much. She doing too much, and now she's leaving us all in a state of confusion. Are you confused too? Like, are y'all trying to unpack this? Because it's sounding like an unsolved mystery, and I think we need to get to the bottom of this, right? It's sounding like an unsolved mystery. Like, lady, make up your mind. Did he file the divorce, or did you find out that he was lying to you and he actually didn't file the divorce? But then you said that you found out that he was lying to you and he did not file the divorce. And then you backpedal to come back and say that, oh, I made sure that he had filed first before we started dating. And we was not in anything intimate. That wasn't our conversation. Like, lady, make it make sense. Which is it? You didn't, you did, you did, you didn't. Maybe you did, depending how we look at it. Is that what it is? Like, maybe depending how we look at it, then you did it based on that. So, okay. Y'all, let's jump into this for y'all. So wait, hold up. So you was taking trips too. So you was taking trips. Lady, I want to be on your side. I'm trying to help you here, right? I'm trying to understand where you coming from with this. But um you was taking trips too while he was married. So I'm lost as to why you putting this lady on blast though. Yeah. Like, why you calling this lady out though? For what? And like you said, people are gonna say that you're doing the same thing. Seriously? Lady, lady, lady. Make it make sense, y'all. She calling out this lady, and she just said I was taking trips with him and he was still married, but I didn't want to destroy his home. I didn't want to destroy his household. Like, I didn't want to be the one, because the whole time, just so you know, the whole time I was encouraging him to stay, because he wasn't my type, and he's obese and he fat looking and he this and he that and he that. And I was encouraging him to stay at home. And I didn't want no parts of that. Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear the nonsense? Do y'all hear the nonsense? Because and this is a thing that I would say sometimes when I get clients talking to me and saying that they want a divorce, they haven't started their divorce yet, and they want to go through this process, and there's somebody that wants to talk to them and such and such and such. Listen, you could do whatever you so desire, okay? But remember this, a person that wants to be in a relationship with you, a person that wants to really see you get through this properly and help you to go through the healing process too, will let you know that you got to get your stuff sorted out before I could take you serious. because that door is still open. That chapter is still open. That person is going back and forth with both of you guys. That's something that's not handled properly. You got to make sure you get your divorce first and take some time by yourself to heal, to take care of yourself first before hopping into a new relationship, before getting into a new situation. You got to take care of yourself first because you need to learn yourself outside of that person. You got to find time to get to know you outside of that person so you could better yourself, so you could get on. And they're not going to respect you. They're not going to respect you because they're going to look at you that this is how I got you. You knew I was married and you still was trying to talk to me. And look at his pattern. He's showing his pattern. He's showing that this is who he is. This is his pattern. That's how he got her. And that's how he's getting the other woman. So this is a pattern. This man has laid the path and has laid down his pattern to show that this is exactly who he is. So when a man show you who he is, ladies, believe them. And men, when a woman show you who she is, believe her. Let's not get caught up in the fantasy and the illusion of what we want them to be. First of all, the mask slipped a long time ago. You cannot tell me that 30 years later you're just finding this out. No, you're just really at a point where you're tired of the many ones. It ain't the first one. We know it's not the first one. This is this man's reputation. He has a reputation. So you can't knock anybody for calling you out on your reputation right now because this is what you're demonstrating. But I'm gonna let her finish her story because I don't want to sound like I'm attacking her for confessing that she was doing the same thing, going on trips, taking vacation trips with this man while he's married. Key. And when he get phone calls, she trying to see is something still going on? Are they still really into it or not? And that's the thing where a man could already tell that you're insecure. He could already tell that your self-esteem is low at that particular time because you're unsettled and you're accepting that type of behavior. So you're thinking you're doing something by, oh, you got to get a divorce first, or you got to at least file the paper so I know you're serious. No, that's not standing on business. That's not. Because what you accept there, it's just going to multiply throughout the marriage. And that's why she don't check the bills. That's why she don't check the statements and stuff like that, because this is something that's been ongoing for a long time. This is not something new in the relationship. This is something that's been ongoing for a long time and she's been accepting it. That's all it is. This ain't nothing new for her. I'm gonna go back and be quiet, y'all. Let me.
I'm gonna let it be what it is. And like I said, once we get further down the road in this process, I can share some things. I don't know how to share the receipts on here. I thought you could only do videos. So anybody that knows how you can post pictures and all of that of the text messages, I'll show you that I ain't got no lie to tell. And the whole time, I never talked to my husband's former wife. The only conversation we ever had was when she would bring the kids over and stuff like that. But she never said anything to me about me being the cause. But I did find this out, that after she found out that he and I was breaking up, she told someone that she was like, oh, she finally found out after all these years. Like, she finally found out who he really is. Because I think I mentioned in an earlier video about him telling me about how she was not having any kind of intimate relationship with him. And he thought it was because she was depressed and, had some postpartum and all of that. Turns out, word got back to me. She was like, I wasn't depressed, or I didn't have postpartum either. It was because I was tired of being in the doctor's office because he kept giving me stuff. So, I'm going to just leave it there, guys. And like I said, once all this is over, I'll come.
I think I missed something. She said she was in the doctor's office a lot because he kept giving her stuff. Lady, let me tell you thing now because I think I'm shouting and I need to respect y'all ears and be respectful. But lady, you hear what she said? She's been in the doctor office a lot. Why is you out here confessing like this? We're trying to feel sorry for you, lady. But you're confessing a lot of things. And we respect you. You know why we respect you? Because we've been there. I've been there. I've been there. Okay? He didn't bring me nothing at the time when I know like this and that. I don't listen. He didn't bring me nothing, but I took him to the doctor and said, hey, I ain't going near you without nothing. Okay? Go to the doctor. You go. I'm going to go too. But yeah. Lady, it's not the first time. It's not the first time. But I think you probably was at your breaking point with this one and come in public to talk about it like this, right? You probably didn't know that you was gonna go viral like this. But this is not the first time. She says she's been going to the doctor a lot for what he gave her because he's been giving her stuff. Hmm. Kids, maybe?
back and give you plenty of details. So old girl can keep telling all the stories she want, but they hanging, they doing their thing. I just got a message from a woman this morning who saw them out in Dallas last night at Trulux and said that, old girl got pregnant by her husband some years ago while she lived in California. So she was like, she's all about the money. So, and she is. And I'm telling you, y'all, yeah, I've lived a privileged life, but I've earned everything I've got here in this household. When he was sick, when he was doing all his other stuff, when he had to get shit wiped off of him, she wasn't here. I was wiping shit, cleaning up vomit, and all the things that a wife would do. So for that, for better or worse, yeah, I stuck in between all of that. So, like I said, I'm gonna end this right here. You can say what you want, judge how you want, but it's all good. I'm gonna be good in the end. I was just sharing and hoping that my story would empower someone else to not be embarrassed, to stand up on your own, But it is what it is, and I'm living for today. Hope y'all have a good one.
Did y'all want to see the text messages? Let me know really quickly, like, did y'all want to see the text messages? Because she said she didn't have nothing to hide with the text messages and stuff like that.
Stay focused.
Throw it us
Don't
three
talk
here.
about what you're going to do. Don't just dream about what you're going to do. Don't criticize somebody else for what they're not doing. You be it. Be about it. Be about that action and go do it. Keep your eye on your intention. Don't let any outside distraction or your own insecurity stop you from your goals. Embrace that struggle. Surviving that struggle.
So let me see about making my picture smaller. Let me go right here really quickly. And let me click on this. And let me try to make me smaller out the way. Right. So now you guys will be able to see it much better. There you go. So can you guys see the text message just fine? Let me know if y'all can see the text message just Miss Bliss, I'm trying to add you as a mod, Miss Bliss. Thank you so much, Alicia. I appreciate you, sis. Um, I'm trying. Yeah, the text message said the flight got canceled. I will go to Amsterdam. What? I will go Amsterdam to Atlanta, landing around that time. Cannot wait to see your ass. Okay, love bug, right? One more sleep night, right? She gonna sleep one more time before she gets to see him. That's right. Night night. What's PYT? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but So he's letting her know that he made it. And he's gonna be landing. So this is the ultimate narcissistic move right here. But normally it's flipped because normally you're the one who's reporting to the narcissist your time, but because he's the one that's bringing in the bread, right? You hear she living a lavish life. So he gives her time and date to fill her mind so that her agenda is filled and she's filled with his schedule, his planning. So she's not really paying so much attention to the things. So he's letting her know that this schedule is booked, that one is booked, and everything is booked up. So let me see if I could pause this right away. Okay, there it goes. That's the next message right here. He loves her so much. He appreciate how hard you go for us. That's what she's telling him, that she appreciate how hard he go for them, their family, right? But come on now. He's booking up your whole schedule and letting you know that he's over here doing this at this time. And after he leaves here, he's going to go there. So he's giving you a whole rundown of everything so that you could stay put. This man knows exactly what he's doing because this is how he get away with everything. He's been doing it for a while. So this is nothing new for him right here. This is not nothing new. This is what he does. Miss Bless, you gotta help me, sis. I need to find out how I can make you a mod on here. I think you need to make a comment in the comment section. Um, Yeah, I think you need to make it in a and he sure does have a type. Let me go, y'all. Let me jump on here really quickly and show you guys that this man has a type. Okay, he has a type. Let me find you her, cause you know we on it. Okay, we on it. Let me see if she wanted to share anything else. I mean, at this point, I think we got a clear understanding of what's going on with her. She spoke about him, the trips that they've been taking together, and stuff like that.
So
So,
okay,
you know,
y'all. So when he comes home, I greet
hold
him at
on,
the
honey, hold
door.
on.
Give him a hug and a kiss.
Yeah, you meet him at the door when he come over. So let's go right here, and let's look for Miss Sabrina really quickly, so I can show you guys Sabrina. Hold on. There you go. This is. I don't want to do it with her in it. I just want to get Miss Sutton real quick, and I'm gonna put her up so we can see what she look like. Cause she is one gorgeous girl, I must say. He got good taste. Look at her. All right, y'all. So listen, I don't know what you guys got on this one. Listen. Oh, you don't see what see? You know what it is, sis? We're over on YouTube and we're watching it live on YouTube. So that's why you're not able to see it over on TikTok because we're watching it on YouTube. If you're able to, then you could join the you could just subscribe to my YouTube channel. This way you could get more of what we're doing, so you could actually hear the audio, see the videos, and interact with the chat. Right here on YouTube. This was a great interaction, fam. I really did enjoy this interaction. But I'm telling you, she's here thinking that she not gonna get what's coming to her. I'm not wishing no bad for her, but we've all know if you're with the actual narcissist and you find out that this person is a narcissist, best believe it, it's just a matter of time before it unleashes on you. It don't matter how long it takes for them to do what they do. They're a narcissist, and if that's listen, when you spot one, you gonna tell. There's certain smells, there's certain, and I'm not talking about an actual physical smell because people be associating a physical smell with it. It's not about a physical smell, but it's more along the lines of their aura, their demeanor, the way how they operate. They operate in a particular way where they're in a rush to do things, and there's always some sneaky link type of behavior. If you have to always be a sneaky link, and that's the thing, like it's okay if you don't know the truth at first, that's perfectly fine. Because a lot of times we don't always know everything all the time. We don't know about everything. But if you're talking to somebody and they don't provide you with all the information and you realize that they're lying, they're not even being honest with you, and you find out that they're actually lying, it's up to you now if you're going to stay or if you're going to leave. Like it's all up to you. You could really point fingers on the person and say they had something to do with this and they that. Like yes, they're a liar, they're this, they're cheat, they're all sorts of different things, and I totally agree. But at some point we have to draw the line. We have to draw the line and say no, you were dishonest, you lied to me, you betrayed my trust. And that's where setting healthy boundaries or learning how to set boundaries is going to come into play, because it's a hard thing to do, especially if that person is providing for you financially, if that person is providing for you in other ways, where place an environment, a place to live, then you're going to feel like you're solely dependent on them. So you know I'm gonna drop my link down below. If y'all want to talk to me about anything privately, let's talk about it. Okay, you could book a one-on-one session, and we could find about how you could get help on making your own transition out of it. It's not easy, and we're not even gonna listen. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight. Okay, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight. But sis, you out here sharing the things that you were once that person. You was once that side chick. That's what it sounds like tonight. That yes, I get it that you're exposing that he's a narcissist, but we play a major role in narcissistic behaviors as well too. Like we are enablers when we continue to do stuff like this. But these old dirt, like he's a dirty old sleaze bag. Unfortunately, that's what it is. That's a dirty old sleaze bag type of stuff. And he's repeating the like he didn't change. And I just want us to learn from this, like the patterns and asking some good questions like how did your last relationship go, and a lot of times they're gonna lie, but you're gonna see patterns because people could talk with their mouth and tell you one thing, but their actions is gonna show you who they really are. So their mouth is gonna tell you who they want to be and what they want to be. That's what their mouth is gonna tell you, but their actions is gonna show you exactly who they are, because whatever you're desiring to do, you're going to act out on it. That's going to be a part of your act, your behavior. So it doesn't matter what a person comes and tell you. Don't believe it. Let them show you better than they could tell you. So they're going to show you through their actions that this is what it is. And over time, you'll be able to make those informed decisions for yourself so you could be more conscious about things. And through experiences like this is how we're going to learn. This is how we're going to learn that it's okay not to beat up on yourself. It's okay to forgive yourself. It's okay to go through the process and understand that you're not in it alone. And sometimes it's so hard to, listen, it's hard to let go. It don't feel good in it, but it's also hard to let go. It's like a double-edged sword. Like it's good if you stay, it's bad if you stay, and it's bad if you leave, and you're not even sure which one to choose. But choose you tonight. Choose you tonight. I really hope that you actually choose you tonight. And with that, y'all, we was live. We was live. It was an amazing night. We got to chop it up and had a beautiful night tonight. I appreciate y'all so much. And I wish them nothing but the best. But right now they're in divorce court and they're going through the divorce process of things. And he is out here living his best life while they go through this process. They're out here doing their thing. But listen, y'all. Be blessed, y'all. It's your girl Nessa, healing your silence. And of course, you can't be silenced any longer. I love y'all so much. Have an outstanding night. Good night, guys. Good night. Good night, y'all. That was actually pretty cool, y'all. It was actually cool, fam. You know what? I agree with, let me see. Am I able to pin this? To put it I'm trying to see if I could put it up. See, I put the message at the top right here that you just did, Alicia. I just put the message at the top where you just mentioned that I hope that now that she realizes that who she's dealing with, that she hopefully get the therapy that she needs. She really needs to go to therapy for real, for real. She do need to go to therapy and get herself taken care of. She really, really needs to go to therapy and get that sorted out. Like, yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that is the sad part. Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all so, 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 so much. Have an amazing night, y'all. Be blessed. Love y'all so much. You know you can't be silenced any longer. We're here. Empower you to become your greatest self. Later, y'all. It's your girl, Nessa.